this reminds me, when I think back to these races, and this race in particular, this is like old-fashioned Kieran racing without the motorbike in front. This is the sort of sprints that we're going to take on, and I think today might be a bit similar. You might have kind of the one team riding on the front, but everybody else, so it's a bit like an old-fashioned Kieran racing, which in this part of the world is very, very popular.
Yeah, of course, the legendary Aziz Awang is from Malaysia, the Olympic champion in the Kieran. The shot from the back of the peloton tells us that the team from Indonesia here in the, what is it, brownish black, are not really interested in the sprint. It would be more interesting to see the actual front of the peloton. I'll keep my eye out for the indicators on the side of the road: 10k, 5k, 3-2 and a flamme rouge. Don't have a helicopter shot here to see the composition. Oh. Oh, looks like there might be a crash. Nope, everybody up. Get some screaming there in the peloton, but everybody's okay. We've got 128 riders with 33 nationalities. You won't be surprised that the race this year with the most nationalities was the World Championship, almost 60, but 33 is quite a lot. The biggest group of riders are actually the Spanish with 15, the first time that has happened, and that is because we've got 3 Spanish teams on the start list. The second group are the Italians, with of course the 2 Italian teams that we have here with Green Project Bardiani and Coratec Selle Italia. So we've got 2 camera bikes, one at the front and one at the back. The one at the back is not really insightful. The one at the front is more interesting. The road is really, really wide, so we can have 10 teams racing at the front at the moment. There is a car parked, rather unlucky there, but we're going towards that final 10 kilometers on this opening stage. It's the longest of the week. 187.4 kilometers. The last time we did have a finish here in Kuala Terengganu was in 2018, and that was Adam de Vos, the former Canadian national champion. He won that stage in 2018. He is racing here, but of course the Human Powered Health team have a stronger sprinter in Sascha Wemas, the Belgian rider. We look at that result back in 2018. It was stage 3 back then. It was Adam de Vos ahead of Kim Dae-wong. Sulfiki, Harry Sweeney was 4th. Manan, Eric Young, Saleh, the man who was already there many, many years ago. Luca Paccioni, Dylan Page and Marco Kump. Only 5 years ago, but a completely different world. That was the year of Riccardo Minali, if I remember correctly, winning a couple of stages there, the Italian of the Astana team. You also see the Pink Brigade coming to the front there with Simon Carr, Jefferson, Cepeda, Odd Christian Eiking, Tom Scully, Michael Valgren and Jardi van der Lee. Who would be the rider, Brian, of the EF Education team that they might be riding for, or is this a case of just keeping your GC riders safe?
I think looking at it, the EF Education here have come with one goal, and that's to win the general classification, and when that's the case, you keep your rider safe. I already mentioned that these are tricky sprint stages here. This is a little bit of pressure on a lot of these kind of Asian teams to get these points, to get up there, and everybody thinks they can sprint, and I'm not joking you, it is like Kieran racing on the road, old school, not what it's like at the moment. So it's I think it's just, you know, looking after Cepeda and Simon Carr. Cepeda is, I think, one of the kind of favourites for this race. I know Hugh Carthy was here last year and, you know, was out kind of smarted and outridden by the Movistar team. But, you know, they've come here to win this race, and why not? They've got a very, very good team. But Simon Carr just picking up some seconds and points as well. So they've got a couple of options. So when you've got, you know, I think one of the favourites or the favourite for the race, then you have to keep them out of trouble.
Yeah, of course, the 3 kilometre rule applies in this race as well. We should be inside the final 10 kilometres by now. I haven't seen the sign just yet, but the GPS was stuck at 12 kilometres for quite some time, while the speed in the peloton would be close to 50 at the moment.
Yeah, just passing 10 now, you can see the green signs.
There it is. With some drone footage there. At certain points they have installed the drone. It gives us a nice little overview. We have a lack of helicopter footage here, and sometimes it's nice to have an overhead shot to see what is happening. We see the Green Project Bardiani getting to the front there as well with Zanoncello. They're here with 6 Italians: Luca Covilli, Lorenzo Conforti, Davide Gaburo, Matteo Scalco, Manuele Tarozzi and Enrico Zanoncello, who had a good run in the Tour of Taihu Lake. That was only a couple of weeks ago in China. There's a lot of road obstacles there, but all are well signed there by the commissaires. First time we see the Bolton Equities Black Spoke team at the front. They have the youngest man in the race with George Jackson, Bailey O'Donnell, Matt Bostock, Josh Burnett, Logan Curry and Luke Mudgway. We go to the very lovely place here on the outskirts of Kuala Terengganu. Looks like a building site here. Like I said, it's a city of 350,000 people, so a rather big city here in Malaysia. And these are the roads that we have in the final 10 kilometers. Around 9 to go. We're looking out for the signs. The green on the side of the road. Brian is on the lookout for the indicators to show that we are inside that final 3 kilometer mark.
Yeah, this is the kind of road humps that we've got, and I think with about 3 kilometres to go, we've got some road humps as well, which they have to be wary of.
Yeah, luckily it's completely dry here, so no. Well, there is always danger of crashing, but not as big as it was when everything would have been soaking wet. Looking at the end of the peloton and back to the front now with 5 riders of the Tudor Press Cycling team. They're led here by Marcel Sieberg, of course the former lead-out rider of André Greipel, the German. He is the sports director here for the Tudor Press Cycling team, and they have made it clear abundantly so far that they are here to win the stage and to get that first yellow jersey. Tomorrow is going to be an even flatter stage than today. So if you win today, you already have a good chance to stay in that leader's jersey for quite some time. We also have the orange team of Euskaltel getting to the front. Their sprinter, according to the press release that they issued, is Carlos Canal. Wouldn't be the first name on my list. I think we have 2 big favourites with Arvid de Klein first and foremost, and quite possibly Gleb Saritsa. But Brian, I haven't seen a lot of Astana, Kazakhstan at the front.
No, they were riding earlier on today, but I think you're right with Saritsa. This last year he broke into the kind of mould of a sprinter, as you say, bit of a kind of hulk of a guy, and you know he was very successful last year. He rode well in an event in Norway as well. So but since then I've seen him on kind of lead out duties with Mark Cavendish a little bit earlier this year, but he hasn't had many results. Maybe he could break the back of it today, and I hope he does. I hope, I was really kind of pleased to see him getting up there last year. Incredible talent, and I think he started the year riding in Spain, won some races there, and Astana decided to give him a contract, but since then he's not done too much. I don't know if he's suffered from injury and illness, but I think the test is going to be today. And you always have good memories when you come back to a race, no matter what your form is. If you've done well in the race before, you come back, you get good memories. On the flip side, if you've had bad memories, you have bad memories, you come back to the same race. But I think with the fact that they put one rider up at the front initially means that it's all be there. But I have to say that Arvid de Klein, if they get this right, then he is the man to beat. But I say this loosely, kind of, if they get it right, because as I said, this is the first stage. Everybody a little bit fresher. There is the fact that you can get blocked in a little bit. So if they do get it right and Arvid de Klein gets a clean passage to the line, then he definitely is the man to beat.
Yeah, most definitely. Gleb Syriza, he won the opening stage last year and then had 2 second places in 2 other stages. We're on the coast. This is the South Chinese Sea as we are approaching the 5 kilometer to go mark. Really nice wide boulevard here. Some good views. Riders will not be particularly interested in those. They will be happy that the hotel for tonight is just a few kilometers from the finish line. What they do here in Malaysia, they got the transfers in the morning before the start, and then the hotels near the finish town, except for example, Genting Highlands. But there's always a lot of traveling. We stay on the east coast. There's the final 5K. We stay on the east coast for 2 stages and then move to the north and then back to the west coast of the country. Like I said, no Langkawi this year. The island of Langkawi, that is, where we had 2 stages last year. We stay on the main island here of Malaysia, the peninsula. Some mini Petronas towers on the left side there. Slightly smaller than the ones we will see next Saturday on stage 8, where we have the finale of this Petronas Tour of Langkawi, finishing in front of the world famous Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur. 5K to go, or just under 5K to go, in a stage where we had a breakaway of 4 riders, and then at 70 kilometers from the line, 1 man attacked by the name of Teshbayar Baitsakan, a rider from Mongolia. He was in the lead by himself for 50 kilometers and caught just after the final intermediate sprint. Now it's up to Bolton Equities Black Spoke with their fast man Matt Bostock, who had a good run in the Tour of Taihu Lake. And yeah, did Tudor get boxed in there with the little deviation?
No, it's just the way the road furniture went there. It's the wind is coming from the right of our screen to the left, so everybody trying to get a little bit of shelter on the left hand side, and the road opened and then narrowed again. And the thing is, I said just a moment ago, you have to get this right, but and getting it right is making sure that your sprinter is in a good position, and you might have to sacrifice. This is what I'm talking about. It's pushing everybody out, and then one rider finds himself in the wrong side and doing a bit of cyclocross there, which is very, very risky indeed, because this bridge is coming up and there's no way back from that. So he managed to stay upright okay there, because he realised that he had to go to the left hand side there. But this is a big danger, so it's pushing the riders over to the right hand side, but you can get pushed back in this very, very quickly, so you really have to kind of maybe burn your matches. 3 kilometers to go now, so he's keeping them. It's very, very early to be at the front now, but I think a case of safety, positioning, you have to really kind of take this one on from the front.
Over the bridge and hopefully back towards the front. We see some riders at the back here. Canadian Ben Perry, one of them. But I would like to go back to the front as we go down the bridge with high speeds there. There we are. It's quite a far camera position. Everybody needs to slot back in as the road is narrowing again. Still, it's Tudor on the red BMC bikes really taking control. We also have Caja Rural doing a fantastic job there for Eduard Prades. But this is the final 2 kilometers. There it is, the sign, the final 2K. We are going to see a rather chaotic but hopefully fair sprint where everybody stays on their bike. So far it's looking really good for the Tudor Pro Cycling team. They have controlled the breakaway together with Astana, and for the past 20 kilometers they were at the front. Now we're going to make that turn, Brian.
Yeah, we're coming up very quickly to this this turn, and it will change the wind direction as well. We've started to sweep round this bit of a kind of dog leg, and then we'll start to see the 1 kilometre to go. You know, here we go, turning, swinging right here, but there's a lot of teams getting involved here. Caja Rural in the white and the green are probably in prime position here, but with it, just as I say that, they get swept into the left-hand side. Camera work, bear with us on it.
We're going towards the final kilometre of our opening stage. Last year it was the first professional win for Gleb Syriza, who is going away with the first leader's jersey in the Tour of Langkawi. This is the final kilometre coming up. We still have Tudor Pro Cycling at the front. Caja Rural very active there as well. We see some human-powered health colours coming to the front, but it's really, really hard to see. We have Green Project Bardiani there with Zanoncello, but for now I see a lot of black jerseys for the Tudor Pro Cycling team. Taking command now are Human-Powered Health. They have a fast Belgian rider in Sacha Wemas. Like Brian said, not the most fortunate of seasons so far for Sacha Wemas, but it would really mean a lot to him to get that win. This is the final. We have many teams. It's really, really white. Tudor are gone just a little bit now. Gleb Syriza is getting to the front. He's opening the sprint right now. The really big man from Astana. Is he going to repeat his performance from last year? It looks a very solid sprint there from Gleb Syriza, but the line is still far away. The man from Human Power Health on the other side. It looks like...
Decline.
Well, it looks like Decline has it.
Decline.
Yep, and that is the mark of a sprinter, leaving it rather late. He kept his head cool when Gleb Syriza opened the sprint really, really late, then came out of the wheel and did what everybody expected him to do and rewarded the teamwork of the Tudor Pro Cycling team.
It was a chaotic sprint. You can see that. It's clear, chaotic. The pictures weren't that brilliant either, but we'll put that to the side. But it was a chaotic sprint, and you could see that. I think in the run-in it was really important that you really looked after your sprinter in the run-in rather than the lead-out. You know, in that final there, a lot of these sprinters were pretty much on their own, and Syriza, he went really, really early, super confident, but ultimately Human-Powered Health in a good position. You see Gleb Syriza in the kind of aqua blue, just kind of sitting there. He's well positioned at this point. They're all kind of just waiting, but it opens up just here, and I think Arvid Decline opens up. You can see that Arvid Decline in the black just to the kind of left, and I think DeVos was on the wheel of Syriza. He was just kind of leading out. DeVos goes right, Klein goes left, and it was just a kind of drag race to the line. So, you know, with a tailwind sprint like that, Gleb Syriza probably didn't do too much wrong. It maybe opened up a little bit early. You can see it again from the front. So leading here, Human-Powered Health in the orange. And you can see the black jerseys, Tudor Pro Cycling, trying to kind of help out Decline, but he's just a little bit out of sorts. Very chaotic. A lot of looking around. Where are you? Are you in the right position? And at this stage, the lead-out man for DeVos, he's finished, and DeVos looks round. What's going to happen here? And at that moment, hesitation for everybody at the front. Gleb Syriza thought, you just saw the 300